Okay. Assault strength. Making the assault. Very in-depth mechanic. .0, page 15. Combat assault. Here we go. After all combat fire has been resolved in the combat fire phase, the phasing player, known as the attacker, has the option to assault any and all brigades, enemy brigades, which remain adjacent to any of his attacking brigades. For each defending brigade to be assaulted, the phase player, known as the attacker, performs the following actions step by step. The phasing player chooses one hex occupied by the defending brigade to be assaulted. So this guy is going to choose that marker to make the assault. Step 2. One battle line marker that fired into the chosen hex during combat fire must make the assault. If more than one marker fired into the hex, the phasing player may choose which is to perform the assault. A marker which itself underwent flank fire during the combat fire phase cannot make the assault. So if these two markers fired on this one marker, I will have to make the choice of which marker will make the assault for this hex. In this case, I choose this marker to attack with the assault right here in this hex. A marker which itself underwent flank fire during the combat fire phase cannot make the assault. Step 3. Both players determine the assault strength of the assaulting and defending units. So the phasing player and the non-phasing player calculate their assault strengths. Step 4. The phasing player compares the assault strengths as a difference. In other words, there's going to be subtraction. He rolls one die and cross-indexes the two results. The result from the enemy and the result from the phasing attacking player. And he takes that difference and looks at the combat assault table to determine the success of the assault. And here is the combat assault table. The die roll and the difference. So both sides calculate their assault strength. Subtraction is done to see what the difference between the two factions are. The die roll is made and a determination to find out if it was successful or if it was not successful. So let's go over some rules that are mandatory in order to conduct an assault. This is an option by the phasing player. It is not mandatory. Combat fire must be resolved first before any assaults are even considered. The attacking marker of the phase player must have received flank fire, cannot make the assault. So if one of the markers that you are considering to make the assault, if that marker received any flank fire, it is disqualified. Attacking marker must be adjacent to the enemy. The attacking marker must have already fired at that enemy marker in the combat fire phase in that same hex. The phase player, the attacker, chooses one marker to assault one enemy marker in the hex that the enemy occupies, and that was the hex and marker that was fired on by the attacker. If two attacking markers fired at the same enemy in the same hex during the combat fire phase, the phase player, attacker, must choose which marker will make the assault. Those are the 7 mandatory rules that have to be met in order to qualify to make an assault. Okay, this ends the first part of how to conduct an assault.